Let's reflect now on some words from Barack Obama's victory speech in Chicago 4 years ago. And I'm joined by Karen Travers, ABC News correspondent, who has been on the campaign trail with the president. Hi, Karen, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, Paul.
Karen, that night, Obama said, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America. Great rhetoric. But what is the main area of change he has brought to his presidency?
The president says that he came in and he ushered in a new era of transparency, and many of his critics will say he has not done that. The White House will also say that some of the policies that they put into place right away, things that he promised on the campaign trail, are part of that change message. He always, when he's at these campaign events, when he does stump speeches, will talk about the efforts that they have made on gay rights. That's one of the big ones that they say that is a very big difference from previous presidents. Of course, Paul, the health care law. That's one of the biggest things that the president will also mention.
Of course, he also eyeballed the Americans, saying to them, look, I will listen to you. But just to what extent has he been a listening president in the political arena, to Congress, to his party, and probably crucially to his political opponents?
And also to the voters, Paul, and that's one thing that President Obama said that maybe he hasn't done as good a job on as he could have over the last 4 years. The president has often asked, what is your biggest mistake? What is your biggest regret? And he says that it's been a failure to communicate his policies, a failure to communicate his accomplishments. And that gets to what you were asking about, that listening but also engaging with voters. And of course, Capitol Hill.
Karen, just a brief look at his economic policies. He had a boost in September with those good unemployment figures, a shot in the arm, if you like. Was that a sign at all that his economic policy was actually starting to work?
A bit of that, but also the fact that they say that the economy has just kind of had that natural improvement over the last couple years, that things have gotten better. They say that businesses are more willing to hire people, they're more willing to invest, whereas before they had been a little bit more cautious and sitting on the sidelines because of concerns about just the general trends of the economy. Now, the president will say, look, we have gotten the unemployment rate down below where it was when I first came into office, but it's still not good enough. And the reason for that is because we haven't passed the jobs plan I want. He says that he has put forward an agenda in order to do that, but just hasn't been able to reach any agreement on Capitol Hill.
Karen, 4 years ago, a young, inexperienced African-American man stood before you and the American public as your 44th president. He was a symbol of hope. Has it worked?
Well, I think we'll probably find the answer to that on election night. Voters have to decide whether or not it worked, but that is one of the president's biggest challenges on the campaign trail. His speech at the convention down in Charlotte just a couple weeks ago was all about optimism for the future. He had to talk about how things are going to get better because, frankly, people have been upset with how things have been over the past 4 years. They felt that the president had come in with so much promise, so much hope, and that he had really laid out an agenda, but he turned out to have more difficulty accomplishing that than maybe they had expected.
Karen, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.